Okay, so you're a biased reporter with a left-wing opinion.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, because you're a left-wing hack. You're not a reporter. You're posing in this room as a journalist, and it's so clear by the premise of your question.
Well, here we go again. Reporters tried to trap Karoline Leavitt with another cheap question. But wow, she fired right back. The whole room froze as she shut down not just one, but several reporters at once. Trust me, you'll want to watch the full clip. All I ask is you like this video and subscribe. Let's jump in.
Karoline, what about the Greenland? You reportedly sent troops over there. Does that change at all what the president is doing on this? And then second question, yesterday in a Senate help hearing, Senator Josh Hawley repeatedly asked a doctor if men can get pregnant, and she did not directly answer that. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, to your first question on Greenland, I don't think troops in Europe impact the president's decision-making process, nor does it impact his goal of the acquisition of Greenland at all. To your second question, I mean, anyone in their right mind with common sense who's speaking honestly and candidly will say that men cannot get pregnant. And I think I can attest to that myself. So thank you all very much.
I mean, that's a no-brainer. If someone calls themselves a professional and still can't answer whether men can or can't get pregnant, oh my God, toss their opinions out. They are borderline ridiculous and not worth taking seriously.
Two questions. First, a follow-up on one of my colleagues who asked you about the president's interview with lawyers. You said that he was joking about canceling the elections, but Americans for generations have fought and died for democracy, for this democracy. Are you saying that the president finds the idea of canceling elections funny?
Andrew, were you in the room? No, you weren't. I was in the room. I heard the conversation, and only someone like you would take that so seriously and pose it as a question in that way.
Only someone like you would say that, acting like a total fool. Oh man, she is unreal at what she does. She really is amazing at her job.
Thank you, Karoline. I wanted to get the White House reaction to Iranian state TV broadcasting an implicit threat to the president's life. It was images of the assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, according to reports, with the message, "This time it will not go wrong."
I have not seen that, to be honest with you, Jackie. We'll take a look, and I'll let the president and his national security team examine that footage to ensure its legitimacy. Again, I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on it. What I will say with respect to Iran is that the president and his team have communicated to the Iranian regime that if the killing continues, there will be grave consequences. And the president received a message, as he revealed to all of you and the whole world yesterday, that the killing and the executions will stop. And the president understands today that 800 executions that were scheduled and supposed to take place yesterday were halted. And so the president and his team are closely monitoring this situation, and all options remain on the table for the president.
They're not playing games right now. Seriously, they are not playing. The amount of gear and the kind of hardware, the big American toys now sitting in the Middle East are ready for whatever happens next. And this is no joke. It's enough to launch and finish a huge war. Okay? So America isn't playing around. Trump isn't playing around. If I were Iran, I wouldn't push it. They need to look in the mirror and think hard about whether they want to survive, because he is absolutely not messing around.
President Trump threatened invoking the Insurrection Act today in Truth Social post. I'm wondering what his tipping point is. Like, what would it take for him to invoke the Insurrection Act?
Look, that's only a question, frankly, Reagan, the president can answer. But the Insurrection Act is a tool at the president's disposal. As you know, it has been used sparingly, but it has been used by previous presidents in American history. And I think the president's Truth Social post spoke very loud and clear to Democrats across this country, elected officials who are using their platforms to encourage violence against federal law enforcement officers, who are encouraging left-wing agitators to unlawfully obstruct legitimate law enforcement operations. And if you talk to any law enforcement officer, no matter what level they work at, they want to be working with their counterparts, whether that's at the federal level or the federal authorities wanting to work with their counterparts at the state and local level. And it's truly shameful that now for more than a year, you've had elected Democrat governors and mayors who have basically held their state and local law enforcement hostage and told them, you cannot cooperate with federal law enforcement. Why? They cooperated under the Biden administration. It's because these Democrats are deranged in their hatred for President Trump, and they are holding their state and local law enforcement hostage as a result. And these Democrat mayors and governors are doing this over what? Over the lawful and legitimate law enforcement operations to remove violent criminals from the streets of Minnesota, from the streets of California, from the streets of New York, and from the streets of every state across this country. And you don't see these riots and this vandalism taking place in states like Florida. Why? Because you have a governor in that state who has empowered federal and local authorities to work together. And it's despicable what we're seeing from these Democrat politicians, especially in sanctuary states and cities.
Dude, you didn't see this kind of riots or outrage at all when Obama was president. Actually, CNN did a ride-along with IC, went to see what was happening, and CNN said, "Oh yeah, no, this makes sense. This is good. Wow, you guys are doing a great job. Thanks for letting us ride along." It was very calm. Want to know the biggest difference between back then, 15 years ago, and now? It's not about a black president versus a white president. It's the fact the country could come together and work to remove illegals from America. The media wasn't saying, "Oh, this is terrible. They are taking people from their communities, breaking up families, blah, blah, blah. Hitler, Hitler, Hitler." No, the media did the ride-along and said, "Oh, yeah, no, this is great. Good job, everyone." Politicians said, "Yeah, no, that makes sense. We must secure America. Make America first. Put America first." That made sense. So that's the biggest difference then and now.
Earlier, you were just defending ICE agents generally, and earlier on, Secretary Noem spoke to the media, and she said, among other things, that they are doing everything correctly. 32 people died in ICE custody last year. 170 U.S. citizens were detained by ICE, and Renee Good was shot in the head and killed by an ICE agent. How does that equate to them doing everything correctly?
Why was Renee Good unfortunately and tragically killed?
Are you asking me my opinion? Because an ICE agent acted recklessly and killed her unjustifiably.
Oh, okay. So you're a biased reporter with a left-wing opinion.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, because you're a left-wing hack. You're not a reporter. You're posing in this room as a journalist, and it's so clear by the premise of your question. And you and the people in the media who have such biases but fake like you're a journalist, you shouldn't even be sitting in that seat. But you're pretending like you're a journalist, but you're a left-wing activist. And the question that you just raised and your answer proves your bias. You should be reporting on the facts. You should be reporting on the cases. Do you have the numbers of how many American citizens were killed at the hands of illegal aliens who ICE is trying to remove from this country? I bet you don't. I bet you didn't even read up on those stories. I bet you never even read about Laken Riley or Jocelyn Nungray or all of the innocent Americans who were killed at the hands of illegal aliens in this country. And the brave men and women of ICE are doing everything in their power to remove those heinous individuals and make our communities safer. And shame on people like you in the media who have a crooked view and have a biased view and pretend like you're a real honest journalist.
Wow. I mean, what part of that was wrong? Can anyone in the comments tell me what part of what Karoline just said wasn't true? These people are defending bad behavior. These politicians, these dumb fake news reporters are literally spreading propaganda. They are trying to make things worse, and they are catering to the overly radicalized leftists who are mentally unstable, and it keeps happening. Seriously, stop this. Put them in their place. That was such a solid answer by Karoline. Kudos, sir. Hit the like button, man. Show some support for Karoline and what she just said. Amazing.
Very quickly, there's been some criticism from other governments about Grok and XAI, the Twitter AI bot, and things it's been doing to manipulate images, including whether that would violate the Take It Down Act that the First Lady just supported. We've not heard from this administration on it. Elon Musk says that they've disabled that, but I wanted to ask you whether the administration has a position and whether that's something that you will be pursuing or whether the president has talked to Mr. Musk about that.
Yes, I will talk to the Office of Science and Technology, and we will get you a firm statement and answer on exactly where the administration stands. I don't want to speak on that without speaking with the experts on it.
The president has called on credit card companies to lower cap rate to 10% effective 20th next week. If they don't do that, what's his What'll he do? What's the threat?
Well, tariffs? No, I'm just kidding. The president certainly has an expectation, Josh, that the credit card companies will do this, just as he did with the pharmaceutical companies, that they will lower costs for American consumers. I don't have a specific consequence to outline for you, but certainly this is an expectation and, frankly, a demand that the president has made. All ICE and federal law enforcement are trying to do are remove people like this off of the streets of Governor Walz's city in Minneapolis and of his state in Minnesota. If you look at some of the individuals in this photo, these are all illegal alien criminals who came into our country under the previous administration. This is some of the most disturbing crimes you will ever read about, and there's only a few reporters in this room who will actually talk about these individuals. This is all ICE is trying to do. They are trying to remove people like this from Governor Walz's state. And so, yes, he should pick up the phone and he should say that he will cooperate with this president and with the federal government in making Minnesota safer, because that's all President Trump and his administration want to do.
Does this administration believe that this reporter, or any reporter, has a right to publish classified information under certain circumstances?
Look, I think that we do not believe that individuals who have been given the privilege of holding a top secret clearance should be illegally leaking that classified information. And I know the American people agree with that. And I think it's a basic tenet of journalistic integrity not to publish information that could directly endanger the operational security or the brave men and women who are serving this country in uniform and putting themselves in harm's way to protect not just the people of this administration, but all of you in the press and all of their fellow Americans as well.
There you go. That's the press conference. Let me know in the comments which of these clips was your favorite. Karoline Leavitt is back, baby. Kicking off the new year on the right note. America is going to do great this year, entering a golden age. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel, turn on the little bell notification so you can stay updated on new videos, and I'll see you all later. Bye for now.